And there's some trying to ask me, like, what happened? Like I'm assuming they mean from all the way from that point all the way to this point. And that's crazy. Like, cause a lot happened. It's like, at what point do you want me to be? Where do I start? Do you mean like from the point where I became aware, like, of what was happening to me, like around 2013, 14? Yeah, years late. I was very, 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 very late. So, given the gravity of the things that transpired since I had awareness of it, you could just imagine the things that, the possibilities. And then, through deductive reasoning and just common sense, you'll understand, like, the more, what I'm saying? But it was very, very thorough, let's just say. Even when I was younger, man, like, I can remember, like, things I've gone through, but not all. Like, it's like, I can remember a little bit, or like, well, pretty much in context, because some things I didn't understand while it was going on, but then in hindsight, coupled with the new information, that revelation that I received, then it makes sense. You feel me? And there was a whole lot of things did, man, like very thoroughly, even the most, like meticulous, like the most minute things and aspects of like sabotaging a person's identity, appearance, life, like the most pettiest stuff, you feel me, was did. Like, you'll be surprised, to like permanently degrade the quality or degrade my appeal to people, because God called me to people. God had a blessing on my life for me to empower the nations, to encourage, inspire the nations. And it's just certain parts of me, that was just in my makeup, my, lineage, it was things that were already supposed to be like that. But those that were doing this, they had already knew that, and so that knowledge was being exploited, you feel me? That knowledge was actually being exploited and used against me. And so in secret, everything from, like they'll have things where they can know where you at, and then from that all the way to, like, I don't know if it was solutions, hormones. It was things to like stunt, your hair growth. They would like somebody, like I said, it had to have been malicious, operating without, legal restraints. You feel me? And they could do whatever they wanted, especially after I had no, protection. That period of time when I had no type of, nobody was there, nobody was there to defend me, because my safeguard was broken, with the, untimely demises, of pillars that cared about me. So it's like everything was just perfect timing, but it's like a duration of time where all the petty stuff was did to like further to like sabotage my future permanently. Everything from my looks to my altitude, as a in the event that created at that time, they didn't really understand what like what I had in me, like as far as like spiritual gifts and stuff like that. They knew that it was something though. So in the event that I grew in art, which they knew I would, then I would already be pretty much crippled, like from appearance to just altitude, and hopefully to kill my mind when I got of age. And it's just it's no telling the depth, but given the nature of the things that happened, after I became aware of it, then you could just pretty much, like you could tell it was things of equally and heavy nature. But it was like absolute the most, it was one of the most, it's definitely, if it's ever esteemed properly, it's definitely one of the most heinous crimes in history. You feel me? Like one of the most heinous hate crimes in history. And every part of my life and being and fiber of my existence have been specifically preyed on since I was young, and carried over every year, especially more when you're not aware of what's going on. And so that's what happened, man. It hurts. But that was happening, so they had a head start over me, like, especially when I had nobody there, and it was, a time of great confusion and stuff, so to speak. So in that confusion, my pillars were taken from me, and I was vulnerable, at that age. And so, permanently sabotaged. But God bless people that see me the way God see me. You feel me? God bless those that see me the way God intended for me to be, like as an influence and as an artist, for God and for the light. Because, given all this stuff that happened to me, I didn't know how to see myself. I just knew I wanted to do God's will. I didn't think too much of, anything. But then it made sense, like, the more understanding I amassed. And it makes sense, and it's like there's no depths to how petty it got, like the campaigns and stuff. Like, it's leave no stone unturned, let's just say that, So it's very, very, very thorough, sabotaging, gruesome. And yeah, man, it just, a lot has happened. My testimony, I got so many pieces of just accounts of my life in real time from, all of it been with my journey with God, and then my artistic embracement, and, just testimonies about Christianity, and, it's just been like a constant, steady stream of information. But I feel like the best thing I could do, really my recordings pretty much say it all. I got recordings, a lot of them, and still ever growing. To God bless me the way I can expand more in my platforms. I'm like, I give anybody the permission, like as far as like fans only, people that love God and love my stuff and want to see my legacy preserved and my art and my ministry grow, my ministry for the Lord grow. That's who I give permission to be able to like duplicate and promote my stuff at will, wherever, just as long as I got credits. They ain't gotta say it if they don't want to, but as long as they got something that write it with my name on it, like, man, I make it very clear who I am. It's not really, what I'm saying, all I am, just be myself. Just this is me every day, just like this. This is what my life had become, what it turned into. And so, but it's a whole lot that transpired. I try to capture it all in my body of work, from my literary works all the way to my recordings like these. And it's a lot to it, a lot to it. Persecution, testimony, and just like my personality. A lot of things been tampered with, to say the least, But faith still is strong, but I'm pretty sure, now picture a little clearer than it used to be. For those that, were genuinely concerned and interested, I should be all right now in theory, but you still got some that's committed to trying to like counsel. They call it counseling, and it's a term I see, like, to like counseling your reign, in spite of evidence as to, tons of evidence as to why that would actually be illegal, but they imply it, and even apply going outside the law to do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's telling you that it's a war situation at that point. Because when I got all this telling, with all this showing truth and everything as to why my stuff, my existence, and my legacy deserve to be preserved and left alone, then you got others that's wanting it hidden, wanting it gone, when, the same others artists not being subjected to that. When they, in their own bodies of works, have way more, more things said. So I feel like just because certain people are guilty, now hold accountable for it, their actions, even in my early life, should not define the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? When I personally have did no evil to deserve any type of degradation or, you know, like obstruction from being able to pursue happiness and creative free expression, you know, that everybody else, you know, so many others was able to like just enjoy and live in and relish in. So at that point, then that's when it's like things like shift towards like an outside of the law perspective. Because then you got some that hurt you because you don't want to give up your right to be able to freely express for God. Think about how that sounds, you know, like, and that's a situation, like, I mean, because like I say, it's more depth. Everybody know that it's way more depth to me than a persecution. But persecution been a major part of my life, but I didn't, it's not my fault. You know what I mean? It's way more to me than that, though. That's not all I'm about. So to like encapsulate or try to mislabel my whole contribution to destroy it, you know what I'm saying? That's like an act of terror. You know what I'm saying? That's an act of terrorism, really. Because that's not all that I consist of. You know, it's something I went through, but it's not who I am. Feel me? And that's how it is, like, you know what I mean? But it's a whole lot that happened, man. Like, a lot of things were premeditated and also preemptive, you know. But it was all against God, though. Because I was just a messenger for God. And so people try to discredit my work and everything. Well, it's like, well, I was working for God. I was doing God's work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, who did they really attack? And who have they really been eating up? Like, I'm doing something for God, for his people, and they've been doing everything possible to prevent that. Well, God is definitely not accountable. But yeah, a lot happened, man. I can be more in detail, you know. I mean, where where do I start? You know what I mean? I've been with the Lord, though, for as long as I've been conscious. You know, and minus the campaigns and things they were doing, psychological, to like lead you in certain directions in life and all that, God don't even count it. It's null and void. You know what I'm saying? Because it was an unfair thing. They declared war on God's child, you know, early, you know, while you malleable, and try to like get you in a certain type of life or the way of life where you can be destroyed with it. Well, through a remarkable miracle, you know, it did not stick in me, like it didn't internalize. You feel me? The God in me part and more overcame the path of darkness that the devil was trying to destroy me with, to like generalize me and then kill me in secret under those generalizations, you know. So they use anything to try to like fit you into that bracket where they can destroy you like they destroy others. You feel me? Like they have a lot of other people that they put generalizations on, then they destroy them because of those generalizations. Well, I didn't fit into any of those brackets or those boxes or those labels or anything, and my testimony proves it. So counseling me is like trying to complete a murder in plain sight, in spite of proof and everybody knowing what's going on. So it's weird, you know. It's a lot that's happened. My faith still in Jesus, though.